Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk again about the fortune virtue and the instructions for finding it and using it. And this is a revamp of a older version of this video, and basically there is a change. I have changed the picking the day out of all the days. That is what has changed here. And so it's probably more fitting, the new day that's chosen. But most people assume that fortune virtue refers only to money. And that is understandable because in English it usually means money. But fortune virtue, this star, it's a lot broader than just money. It's a really nice star. It includes good relationships, general happiness, good health, basically a better life. And of course it also includes money too. But it just means whatever is making you unhappy, this can help. And so if you're dissatisfied or mildly depressed, I mean, if you're truly depressed, get help, but medical help that is. But this is the star to activate if you just feel like you're stuck or you're not moving forward fast enough. This is a really good star to use. And the activation of the star will help you recognize what you need to do and will help you be more motivated to either learn something new or work harder or find the interesting parts of whatever your job entails so that you feel more fulfilled because your work life is a big part of your life. So it just helps you understand where you are and where you need to go and helps you be motivated enough to get there. Now, just like the dragon virtue, the sun and moon noble stars, and the fortune virtue, this is one that has a subsector that it's associated with, and that's if you can use that sector, it's really, really good. But sometimes you can't, and there are ways around it. But this best subsector changes every year. And so it's based on the year's branch, that is the year's animal sign. And I do like to use the word branch because this is what is the real name for it, or the most translated name, and you should get used to it. But during rat years, it's in the west. Ox is in the northwest, and so forth. And so this year is the snake year. Now this is northeast. Unfortunately, northeast in 2025 has the 5 yellow. So that makes it a little tricky. You don't activate anything here, but it's a fantastic place to manifest. Totally, manifestation is always safe, so you can manifest in this sector if it's available in your residence. And actually, it should be in your residence, even if it's not a room you can use. If it's a missing sector in your house, you probably can't tap into it for that particular year. So this is important that you have this sector in your residence. Now, instead of using yellow and black belt days, certain ones, which I was using before, I have now learned enough when it comes to Batsa that I know there is something called the God of Fortune. And this is one, there are actually a couple different sets of rules for the God of Fortune, but this one makes the most sense. And so we're looking for pillars: a wood tiger, a wood ox, a fire rat, fire rooster, earth monkey, earth goat, metal horse, metal snake, water dragon, or water rabbit. And there is a real pattern to this. So this is going forward, and this is going backwards. That isn't that unusual. That is it. And I guess we just start with the wood tiger. If you do that, it all makes sense. And we are missing the dog and the pig. Now there's only 10 of these and there's 12 of the branches, so something's going to be missing. And that's just the way it is. Now, this applies to the day pillar. So I look for one of these day pillars in that month. In fact, it will be basically the same throughout the full year. But there, there it is. Now, this list of the God and Fortune pillars is found right here. But there are several different versions of this. And, uh, and it's possible that you might look at the month pillar, the month stem, and then you look for the day pillar. That could be another way of doing it. But right now I'm going to stick with just the day pillar because that'll be the strongest one. Now, as I said, this year, Fortune Virtue is with a 5 yellow, and it's kind of fortunate that we can talk about it. So how to deal with it when you've got a problem. It can't be used for activation, but manifestation is always safe, and it will be pretty powerful here in this sector, even though it has the 5 yellow, because you're just sitting there meditating a little bit and then thinking, you don't activate anything. So it's totally safe. So activation should occur in your residence's best sector in 2025 or in any year where the sector with the Fortune Virtue has some sort of negative feature, like an untimely star or so forth. So you do need to check each year's location and see if there are any annual afflictions or untimely stars. And we look at your flying star chart, your purple white chart, and the annual and monthly stars. Now you can have special formations in these two charts, the flying star and purple white, where all stars are timely. And I talk about that in other videos. If you're lucky enough to live in a house like this, then you only have to worry about the annual and monthly stars. And that makes life a lot easier. Now you should also note your residence's Chiman chart. And in general, you never want to activate in your Chiman death door sector. The other sectors you can activate. It's nicer if it can be a positive sector, but it doesn't absolutely have to be. And your residence's best sector sometimes will have the 5 yellow, let's say, or some annual affliction. And so then, usually you have like 3 or 4 decent sectors in a house. And so then you just pick the next best one that doesn't have problems. So, and that's what I talk about in the video talking about finding your best sector. Now there is a company called S Metaphysics, and it has a personalized Batsa calendar, which only seems to go on sale like once a year. And it lists the date selection values for the black rabbit, the yellow and black belt, the dongong, and the day officers. And this is pretty helpful in general. This is, but I actually have found an error or two, basically in the dongong. But they probably have corrected that by now. At least that's my hope. But in 2024, this product was over 100 US dollars. So it's quite expensive. Now, you can do the work yourself by finding these dates. I've given you all the rules to do it, and you're welcome to do it. It's a lot of work. It took me a couple months to get this done, and I was only using Excel. If I could use Fortran, it would be a lot easier, but I haven't figured out how to do that on a PC. But it does take effort to do, but if you put in this effort, you should earn that right. Now, my product, that if you become a member, you have to join, and it's not free, but I give you, I don't give you all this information, but I give you of all these stars that I'm looking at, or all these, they are usually stars, these Fortune Virtue and I think I've got 24 different ones out there. This is for $36 a month, and I tell you basically the quality of the day. I don't list everything because it takes up too much room. But I tell you overall, is this a good day? Is this a bad day? Can you start something new? All that is given when you join the channel. And you can cancel at any point in time. I have zero control over it. You just have to keep track of it. Now, avoiding clash days is important for activation. If it's a clash day, you can still manifest totally safely. It's a little bit weaker, but it's still worth a manifestation because that's what 5-10 minutes out of your life. If your issue with fortune, your unhappiness surrounds your career or your business, of course, assuming you own one, then you need to avoid a clash with either your year or your month branch. So you check those, make sure you don't clash with the day. That's the most important. And you should try also to avoid clashing with the hour. You may clash with the month, and yes, it's going to be weaker, but it's not, and the effectiveness will be less quality. That is, you'll have a few more problems, but a month clash isn't like the worst thing in the world. But whenever you're worried about that, just manifest. That's the easiest thing to do. And of course, occasionally you will have a year clash. That is, every 12 years, you do have a clash year. That's okay. Just use the dates anyway. Because the year energy is spread out throughout the whole year, it's not going to, you don't want to take a whole year off of trying to get better, because that is a waste of your life and a waste of time. Now, if it's your health that you're worried about and you want to have basically better health, or let's say better fortune finding the right doctor to help you, that's pretty much what this boils down to. You want to avoid clashes with either your year or your day branch. If it's spousal relationships or any intimate relationship, you don't have to be married, but avoid a clash with your year and day branch and your spouse's year and day branch. So you have to look at both of you, because you don't want to clash either one of you. And if you're talking about a relationship problem with children, employees, investments, you sort of have a relationship with your investments, but basically, if you have trouble choosing your investments, this is a good thing. And if you have an investment advisor, this can help you communicate better with your advisor. And if you have ideas and they never seem to work out, this can help also. This can help you find out, are your ideas too big? Are they too complicated? Maybe you don't have the right expertise. It can help you realize what you need to do to make your ideas work. So this is a pretty good one. So I would definitely suggest this if you want to make your ideas work better, especially if they haven't worked out in the past. Now, you need to avoid a clash with your year and your hour branch, or the hour branch. So you need to check both of those. Now, when it comes to activation, the best activation is action related to the topic. So for example, if it's the career, maybe you figure out what you need to learn, or what skill you need to improve your results at work. If it's health, you need to find the right doctor, basically, or at least the right information. And for spousal relationships, that usually means either deciding to talk more regularly, communicate better, or perhaps it's couples counseling. And for this, again, this all depends on exactly which one of these it is, but if you have trouble, especially with one child, it might be something that you need to get some real help with, because they may communicate very differently or understand things differently. And you may need to understand better how to do that. And usually that requires somebody understands something, although this can maybe help you understand why. But the same thing with the employees. Well, this is usually just something that a little change of attitude sometimes, or how you interact with your employees. But this is will help you understand what you need to change. And in the investments, well, obviously, this means you would have to actually start looking at investments, understanding better how to choose a good investment, or finding a better investment advisor if that's how you're doing it, especially if you continue to have problems with them. And then your ideas, this just basically, you just think, obviously, and you will be able to understand where your ideas have broken down. This will just come naturally. So all you do is think about that. Now, that this should occur in the fortune virtue sector, or perhaps your best sector, depending on the year. This year it has to be your best sector because fortune virtue is in the 5 yellow, and you don't want to activate it there. But this, by activation, it's again some sort of action and learning something new, all that kind of stuff. That's what you need to do. It's better than any elemental activation, and much, much more effective. A lot of people don't want to do it because they don't want to work at home. I mean, they want to relax when they're home. But if you want to improve your life, you pretty much have to work. That's just the way it is. So that's it. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you want to get some of the information like the purple white chart and the Shemin chart, this is all available at my coffee store. And if you have any questions, you can email me or leave a comment. So again, thank you for watching.